So welcome to our STEM Expo show. Today we're very fortunate to be joined by two lovely people from Thermo Fisher Scientific. We're very excited. And Thermo Fisher is a big supporter of the STEM Expo here in Wellesley. That's going to happen this weekend on April 8th, 10 to 4 p.m. So we have Carlos Sevilla. Did I pronounce that right? Sevilla?
Good enough, Sevilla.
Carlos Sevilla, Director, Corporate Social Responsibility with Thermo Fisher, and Laura Barnett, Corporate Social Responsibility Program Leader with Thermo Fisher as well. So welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you.
Thanks for having us, Rama.
Excited to be here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start off with a really easy question. So what did you two see yourselves doing when you grew up, when you were kids? Did you say to yourselves, when I grow up, I'm gonna work for Thermo Fisher?
So I will, I'm one of those rare kids that knew from an early age what they wanted to get involved with.
Excellent.
So I always knew that I wanted to do science, engineering. I was a little too crazy to be in the lab doing research all day, so I transitioned a little bit more to the management side. So Thermo Fisher was a perfect place for me because we're the world leader in serving science, but we can work more on the management side.
Wow, excellent. And you, Laura?
And I wanted to be an astronaut.
Exciting.
So yes, a scientist, but I grew out of that and went into the arts and humanities and majored in that in college, and then actually came back to a first love of mine, which is environmentalism and sustainability. So that's why I've come back to Thermo Fisher, or come to Thermo Fisher. But the nice thing about it is that it's actually where my mother's from. She was born and raised in Waltham, and I have family there still. So it's a very nice place to be. It's close to my family.
So it's coming full circle in a few different ways for you.
Definitely,
Right.
yes.
Right. Awesome. So tell me how Thermo Fisher supports STEM education.
So Thermo Fisher Scientific, as I said in the first question, is we're the world leader in serving science. And our focus in philanthropy is promoting STEM education. We recognize that many of the advances that have been made, throughout humanity, have required people that are well versed in science, technology, engineering, and math. Likewise, a lot of the innovation that we have at Thermo Fisher Scientific requires people that are well versed in STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. So in promoting STEM education amongst youth, we're hoping that we can have the next generation of scientists and innovators that either want to join Thermo Fisher Scientific or become researchers at some institutions or other companies.
Excellent. Wow, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So our mission at Thermo Fisher is to enable our customers to make the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. So that's one of the reasons why we find STEM education so important. Obviously, we want to educate kids, but we want them to be able to be those people who will make the world healthier, cleaner, and safer, and enable them to do that with their brains and hopefully some of our help.
And by any chance, off the top of your heads, do you know a few of the projects that your company is currently working on to do exactly what you specified?
Yes, actually. So right now in Waltham, I'm running a STEM design challenge for all of the fifth graders, which is about 413 students in the entire town, creating a machine to clean plastic out of the oceans.
Oh, wow.
So we bring the environmental side of it into it, as well as the engineering side, and teamwork is also very important. We don't always get to work with people we like, so that's something that kids, it's good to learn at a young age.
Yeah.
So we're doing it with all of the fifth graders, and then we're actually in our final judging competitions this week.
Wow.
So it's been a great program since February until now, and we like to give back to Waltham because we have our corporate headquarters there. It's very important to us to be part of the community.
You folks aren't busy at all. You've got this, and you have Expo on Saturday. It's just everywhere. So it's really the world leaders in serving science.
We really are.
Yeah.
And Laura touched upon some of the efforts that we have ongoing in Waltham, but we are a global company. So we have events going on in California, in Michigan, in China, in Brazil, India, you name it. We have CSR efforts going on locally.
What is CSR?
CSR is corporate social responsibility.
Got it. Okay.
So some of the one of the ways that the primary areas in which we try to promote science, technology, engineering, math at a local level is through the Thermo Fisher STEM education programs. These are internally designed programs that we execute at the local level. So we have Innovation Nation, for example, where we utilize the technologies, the people that are within Thermo Fisher to promote STEM education. So, for example, we use centrifuges to explain to students the principles of centrifugation and what are the practical applications. So centrifugation of blood for diagnostic purposes, centrifugation of cream for separation of yogurt or milks, whatever it is. We have a STEM Design Challenge, which Laura just spoke about, in which we utilize Connects kits and challenge the students to create a machine that makes the world healthier, cleaner, safer. So aligning with our mission. For example, we just challenged the students at the Renaissance Charter Public School to create a nano robot that could treat cancer. And you'd be amazed at what those 5th grade students did for that challenge. And then the last program that we have is the STEM Credible Kits program, where we donate to schools or organizations lab safety equipment so that we can complement some of the budgets that they have or shortfalls that they have and enable them to do labs at their local schools in a safe environment.
Wow. That's quite a handful of stuff that you guys do. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
So how many kinds of scientists do you folks have at the corporation? Is it like, do you have a equal proportion of chemists, physicists, mathematicians, bioscientists?
I don't know the exact answer to that, but I can tell you that I've met individuals from various different fields. So as you correctly pointed out, we have chemists, we have physicists, we have engineers, mathematicians, all working on the next generation of innovation. So mass spectrometers, for example, you need to know physics, you need to know chemistry, mathematics in order to come up with some of these great innovations. Next generation sequencers, you need biologists, chemists.
Right.
So the proportion, I don't know, but we definitely have scientists, engineers, mathematicians from all fields.
Excellent. And what are some of the Thermo Fisher products that are out there that companies can purchase?
Think about Thermo Fisher Scientific as the provider of all lab equipment, consumables, high-end instrumentation that labs may need, that researchers may need, that diagnostics or clinical organizations may need. Anything and everything that customers may need in that space, we provide, from low-end, or not low-end, but consumables, for example, for doing research, plasticware, liquid consumables, to equipment such as ultra-low temperature freezers, centrifuges, all the way to high-end analytical instrumentation. So mass spectrometers, next-gen sequencing equipments, chromatography systems, everything.
So from low-tech to high-tech, essentially.
Everything, yes.
And we've put some of them in the display cases at the Wellesley Library. So if anyone's watching and wants to go over and look.
Take a peek.
Yes.
I know. There were a lot of kids who came through there and saw all the different displays. And it was very impressive. So that was excellent. Thank you for that.
And the great thing is they're actually made in Massachusetts here up in some of our facilities, or at least some of them are.
Some of them are,
yeah.
That's good to know.
So they're local.
It's good to know that they're locally made.
Yeah.
Check for us.
We do have manufacturing in Massachusetts.
I know. Isn't that great? I love it. Love to hear that. That's awesome. And so tell me about how you feel about trying to get more kids involved in STEM education. And in the next 10 years, do you see an equal proportion of students going into STEM careers who are men and women, or females, males? Or how do you think that's gonna play out? And how do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, I think STEM education is vital. I think most people are aware at this point of the STEM gap. So there are jobs out there, but we don't have qualified people to fill them because we're not teaching STEM in schools enough to get people up to that base level where they can start out. So I think STEM is vitally important for job creation, but also for critical thinking skills. And I would love to see 50-50 or some kind of good ratio like that with with people of all genders in the STEM fields. I think having been in some schools and seeing how the students respond to it, I think when you can get young minds and give them challenges and tasks like this, you see them take leaps and bounds, and it's a great thing to see. It's great to be part of an inspiration for a young child to go into a STEM field. So, I mean, for me personally, it's fantastic. I love seeing the lights go on over the kids' heads. That's it's a great part of the job.
Yeah, there's nothing better than coming into work, being given the opportunity to inspire the next generation of scientists and innovators. So, with the focus that we have at Thermo Fisher of promoting STEM education in K through 12, being able to go into a school and present to students. In my case, I have an engineering background, and just tell them, if you want to be an engineer, you can be whatever you want to be. Showcase for them some of the technologies that we have and say there are things beyond what you see at home, an iPhone, a refrigerator, a toaster oven, high-end instrumentation that is making a clear difference in the world. And this is how the technologies that we are developing are enabling our customers to make the world healthier, cleaner, safer. And when we talk to them about our mission, kids react positively to it, because what child doesn't want to make the world healthier, cleaner, safer? So when we tell them, look, here's a product and here's how it's making the world healthier, cleaner, safer, they really respond positively to that. With regards to the question on gender and representation, we go into schools and we want to see representation, not only equal representation, not only amongst females and males, but also within underrepresented groups in both categories. So African American, Latino. So we go in there and we just try to inspire these kids to grow up and want to be scientists and innovators, and just let them know that you can be whatever you want to be. And we're very encouraged when we go into schools and seeing little boys, little girls come up to us and say, wow, how does that centrifuge work? And I never knew that I could be an engineer, or that somebody like me could be an engineer. We're very inspired by it. And just one last story with regards to the Renaissance School that we did the STEM Design Challenge with. We actually brought those students into our annual leadership meeting, which is the top leaders of the company coming together once a year and discussing corporate strategy, as well as items, issues that are of concern to the company. And we brought those students in to do a science fair for our leadership team. And they presented their cancer-fighting nanorobots.
That's right.
The sparkle in the eyes of those students, boys and girls, African American, Latino, white, from all walks of life, that was just fascinating. And the parents would come up to us and say, my daughter, my son hasn't expressed interest in STEM careers or STEM fields or they have been not as dedicated to them until this event. And that for us was just, I mean, that's how we measure success.
Yeah. I bet you both sleep well at night.
Yes.
We're happy.
Yes.
You get bucket loads of thank you letters.
Yeah.
Well,
That's great.
yeah.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
so give us a spoiler. What are you bringing to the expo this weekend? Give us a little teaser.
So at the expo, we are going to have, number one, for the students that are attending, we're going to have Thermo Fisher drawstring bags.
Oh, nice.
These are highly coveted
All right, I'm getting there
items.
early.
Yes.
Early.
Highly coveted items, so
Right.
get there early and you'll have your Thermo Fisher drawstring bag. At the actual expo, we're going to have two sets of experiments. One is our centrifugation lab. So we're going to have there the Fisher Scientific MySpin
Oh,
centrifuge,
very cool.
which we use to showcase to students the practical applications of centrifugation, as well as what are the underlying principles of it. So we start out by showing to students with a salad spinner, you know, if you spin M&Ms in a salad spinner, what happens to the M&Ms? They fly out,
Right.
and the kids just go crazy,
Oh, I
and then
bet
they
they
get
love
to
that.
eat the M&Ms.
Yeah.
And then we have them do centrifugation of a variety of different
Right.
samples.
Right.
You know, we have fake blood.
Oh, very nice.
We also have
So wait, so you're gonna
We have blood.
Yeah.
Right.
We're
So
not sure
you're
if
bringing a
it's fake.
salad spinner, M&Ms.
a salad spinner, M&Ms,
Okay, well that
and
is
Yeah,
all right.
then we're
Well,
good.
There we're all going to the
Yeah.
expo.
Yeah.
I mean,
For anyone who
just-
likes kale
I
and
know.
anyone who likes an M&M,
Right, and
it's good
yes,
both ways.
and there's blood. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, right.
Yes.
Um,
It's up for
Awesome.
the kids to
Yeah.
decide
Right.
once they centrifuge the sample
Ah,
what they think
okay.
it actually
Yeah.
might be.
very
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
Ah,
Plus some other fun fluids.
Mhm.
yeah.
And then
Excellent.
the-
That's good to know.
Yeah,
Glad
the
you
other
put that out
lab-
there.
The other lab is water testing lab,
Uh-huh.
or I should say a liquid testing lab. So our team up in Chelmsford creates some instrumentation for testing of various liquid samples.
So like pH meters.
pH,
Exactly.
conductivity,
Right.
temperature.
Which actually a couple of them are in the display
Oh,
cases
very
right now.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so that team is going to come down and have the students go through a lab for them to see what the different levels
Right.
of pH, of acidity are
very
in
nice.
samples. So they can get to test what's the acidity in Coca-Cola,
Right.
what's the acidity in water, what's the acidity in various liquids, so that they get a sense for, well, what is acidity? And here's this instrument that when I
Right.
put into this substance,
Right.
it reads out
Right.
this metric of acidity,
Right.
pH.
Right. So cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm definitely stopping by that
Mhm.
station.
Oh yes, we'd love to have
I
you.
think I had a very old, was a prototype Thermo Fisher pH meter,
Mm-hmm.
and it was big. It
cool.
was about that big. Yeah, it was like.
I'm
a lot.
sure it was portable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
portable.
So it's
Now they're like
Yeah.
this
And then we
big.
had to make makeshift straps to strap it to you.
Mhm.
And I did a lot of research in acid mine drainage, so
Oh,
that
okay.
thing came in very handy.
So it's interesting
Yeah.
that
Right.
you bring that up, because it demonstrates the innovation
Right.
that you can have with STEM careers,
Yeah.
as well as the innovation that we've had within Thermo Fisher.
Right. I'm sure your pH meters are now this big.
So
Yes,
one of the
we have a
pH
pocket one.
meters that we have on display
Right.
is the UTEC pH
Oh, I
meter.
saw those, right?
That UTEC
Nifty.
pH meter is
I know.
this
right?
big, and it can be used in a variety of applications.
Reminds
like
me how old I am.
You can no longer use it as an exercise weight,
right?
unfortunately.
Yeah.
I know, that's awesome. And it does all the full spectrum pH measurements from that little device.
Not sure if it does the full
Yeah.
spectrum that you would expect on a benchtop unit,
Right.
but it certainly does temperature, pH,
Which is great for field
conductivity.
work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a quick measure of acidity or
Correct.
alkalinity where
Correct.
you are. That's great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And then people don't know that you can also use a pH meter for soil samples
Yes.
and for all kinds of other things as well. So,
Mhm.
but we'll leave that to the fun liquids section on
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes.
I've just
Yeah.
found a name for it. Fun liquids.
Fun liquids.
Yes.
Well, fun fluids is what you said. It's
Yes.
it's got a little roll there. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll stick with that. Fun fluids.
All right.
Sounds
Yeah.
great. And
Mhm.
any other comments you'd like to add about STEM Expo, STEM Thermo Fisher? Anything
What
else you'd
I'll
like
add
to say?
is, Thermo Fisher is very proud not only of our support for STEM education, but also for the Wellesley STEM Expo.
It's awesome.
Being able to showcase some of our technologies and inspire the next generation of scientists and innovators here in Wellesley, in our back door, basically from
Right.
Waltham.
Right.
Couldn't be more proud of that.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. I'm sure all the planners of STEM Expo and the Wellesley Education Foundation that throws this event every 2 years will be very, very pleased to hear you say how much they're appreciated. And also to have you participate, because we can't showcase all these really cool things without companies like yours that really step up and do this kind of stuff. So it was important to have hands-on science, and I think this is definitely going to qualify as hands-on science.
So for all the parents and kids out there, I mean, go out and learn about centrifugation, about pH in liquids, and get your Thermo Fisher drawstring bag.
Right, and the M&Ms.
And the M&Ms.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've been telling everyone I know around that this is happening this Saturday, so you may have an extra influx.
Yes, we're very grateful. We had about 4,500 people last year, I think approximately, although I secretly believe it was a little bit more.
Okay.
But this year, we draw from the entire Boston Metro West community. We had some people drive down from New Hampshire 2 years ago to attend, so we're very excited. So I'm sure it'll be awesome.
Great.
Right. Well, it's a pleasure.
Sure.
Thank you so much for
Same.
coming in and taking the time to do
Same.
this.
It was a pleasure, Rama.
And thank you, Thermo Fisher, and
you.
Carlos and Laura.
And
Thank you.
Wellesley STEM Expo.
Perfect.